All right, everyone, ready to dive deep. Today, we're tackling something that's been getting a ton of buzz, hypnosis and NLP. Yeah, you know those techniques that everyone's talking about for unlocking potential and all that?
Right, they're definitely having a moment.
Totally. So we're doing a deep dive into an episode of the Hypnosis and NLP podcast with Daniel Olson to see what all the fuss is about.
Mhm.
We want to cut through the hype, separate fact from fiction. What do you say? Are you in?
Absolutely. I think it's smart to approach these topics with a critical ear. There's a lot of, well, let's call it creative interpretation out there.
No kidding. I mean, say hypnosis and people picture, what, mind control? Or like those stage shows where people cluck like chickens?
Yeah, those stereotypes are hard to shake.
Right. But Daniel Olson actually addresses this head on in the podcast. He's like, hold up, hypnosis is not about mind control or stage performances. So if it's not some kind of Jedi mind trick, what is it really? Help us out here.
Well, Olson uses this analogy that I think is really helpful. He compares it to being totally absorbed in a movie or a book. You know that feeling where your focus narrows and you get swept up in the story?
Oh, yeah, totally.
That's actually a mild form of hypnosis. Therapists who use it are just trying to create that same state of heightened focus and receptivity.
So it's not some weird mystical thing. It's just tapping into something our brains already do.
Exactly. It's not about some external force taking over your mind. It's about accessing your own subconscious mind.
Which is where what all our deeply ingrained habits and beliefs hang out.
Yeah.
The stuff that's hard to change.
Exactly. And Olson talks about how this makes hypnosis a potentially powerful tool for things like overcoming fears, managing stress, and even breaking those bad habits that seem impossible to shake.
Okay, so that's hypnosis demystified. But we can't forget about the other half of this equation. What about NLP? What is that in a nutshell?
Right. So the podcast description talks about neurological processes, language, and behavioral patterns, which I admit can sound a bit jargony.
Yeah,
Like, it's complicated, but think of your mind like a computer program, all right? NLP is about understanding the language, the code that makes that program run.
Okay, so is NLP like rewiring the brain? Is that what we're talking about?
In a way, yeah. NLP practitioners listen for language patterns that might be holding someone back, and they use specific techniques to shift those patterns. Olson gives the example of someone who constantly uses phrases like, I can't, or I'll never. They would work with that person to change their language, which, in turn, can help change their thinking.
Interesting. So it's about recognizing those self-limiting patterns and making a conscious choice to use different language.
Yeah.
But I'm still a little fuzzy on how hypnosis and NLP actually work together. Is it like one, then the other? Or
Think of it this way. They work in synergy. Hypnosis can create that relaxed, receptive state where you're more open to change, and then NLP provides the tools to actually make those changes on a deeper level.
so it's like hypnosis sets the stage and then NLP comes in with the game plan.
That's a great way to put it. Let's say you're working on reframing negative self-talk using NLP. You're much more likely to be successful if you're in that calm and open state that you can achieve through hypnosis.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's about getting your mind in the right place and then giving it the tools for real positive change. Honestly, I could see why people are so drawn to these techniques. It's like a superpower or something.
Yeah.
So where can our listeners go to learn more?
That's great. It's fantastic that you're interested in learning more. But a word of caution, be careful about information you find online. There's a lot out there, and not all of it is created equal.
Good point.
Yeah, it's super important to seek out reputable sources, certified practitioners, especially if you're thinking about trying hypnosis or NLP yourself. Don't just trust anyone who throws up a website.
Totally agree. Do your research. Your mind is worth it, right? Which actually, that makes me think, if our thoughts and behaviors are just patterns, like NLP suggests, what does that mean for our potential to change and grow? Something to think about, isn't it?